So when it comes to Outer Banks real estate, should you buy big or shop small? Hey everyone, it's Danielle Taylor with Keller Williams Realty here on the beautiful Outer Banks. And today I thought I would give you some things to think about when you're deciding whether to buy big or shop small on real estate. So let's talk about the pros and cons of a small cottage. And this is a little near and dear to my heart because, as you know, if you've been following the channel for a while, my rental cottage in Nags Head is just a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, about 860 square feet. So I can talk a lot about the small and mighty. So these small and mighty houses do have some pros. Obviously, the first one is affordability. So from an entry perspective, obviously the amount of money that you're going to have to come up with is less. On these smaller houses, they have a smaller price tag. So that's a great thing. The other thing is the cost of ownership is a lot lower. You know, we've got less square footage, less utilities, less decks, roof, all of that area to maintain. So the cost of ownership can be a lot smaller. And in my opinion, for a lot of people, the smaller cottage pro is that it's a little bit less risky way for you to get into the business and to understand how seasonal and short-term rentals work, how it all comes together. It's more manageable. That can be a really big pro for some people. If you're thinking about potentially self-managing, instead of using a property management company, it can also make it less terrifying. You know, you've got a smaller space, smaller number of guests each visit that you're managing and those kinds of things. So those are really the pros in my mind of the smaller cottage. The cons are obviously that if you only have 2 or 3 bedrooms and no amenities and no game room and all those kinds of things, you just are simply going to generate less revenue. So you have to be comfortable looking at the equation of the income versus the expenses and make sure that it fits for your particular investment and financial goals. Ultimately, also, you have to make sure that it still fits for you and your family if you choose to use the property. You obviously don't want to go too small that you can't even come and enjoy your own space if that's important to you. So those are really the cons as I see them. And sometimes we do have a smaller pool of people that can rent a small cottage simply because it only accommodates, like my cottage only accommodates 4 people. So that can limit the number of people that are attracted to it. And the other thing is I tend to find the smaller properties, they book later. So people are more apt to book like a big family group 6, 8, 12 months out. Smaller cottage tends to be more of a closer to the time frame. So if you're someone who's very nervous when your calendar isn't completely booked by the first of the year, the small cottage may cause you anxiety. So they just tend to book later. Ultimately, you know, what I would say is that big or small, the choice is really up to your particular situation, your financial goals, and that's stuff that we can work through together as you're figuring out the market and we're finding you the perfect property. Your risk tolerance, your financial capacity, balancing the needs of your family are all going to factor in. And with our help, hopefully we can help you make a really great and well-informed decision. So I hope you found that interesting and it gave you some answers and some things to think about. As always, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of these. And if you have any questions, please reach out to us through any of our channels, social media, email, text, whatever. We'd love to help. Hope you have a great day.